this movie came out, we had Snow White, which poorly performed. And Disney had started putting all its effort towards Lilo and Stitch. In between Snow White and Lilo and Stitch, Disney announced, hey, we're kind of done with Disney live action remakes. We're going to take a pause on it. So they paused projects like Hercules, they paused Rapunzel. Do you think they did that intentionally because they saw Lilo and Stitch and they were like, oh shoot, this isn't as good as we thought it was gonna be? Or do you think that was kind of more of a gut reaction from Snow White? Because honestly, I thought this was gonna revive Disney live action remakes.
I think it was kind of like the same feeling we got when Chapek left and we were getting finally the trickling outs of what was remaining from what was in production when he was still around. And I think there was kind of like, once you started seeing the marketing picked up, they knew that this thing that they had was not as good as it could have been. And so they were overcompensating for it quite a bit. And it was too late at that point to really fix anything. Once they realized what was going on here, they already had the plan to really push this thing with its marketing. Gotta say, the Snow White thing definitely was probably, regardless, its biggest killer for the momentum of Disney live action remakes. But to say that Stitch was they saw that early screening and were just like, no, after Snow White, this is not gonna really bode us well at all. I mean, there's a chance, but I think it was more on Snow White why that was the case. I think this was just a victim of that transition period.
It makes me really nervous for other Disney live action remakes because we know Moana is filming and it's probably gonna come out. Disney's not gonna shelve that one because Moana was one of its biggest hits. I wonder if they're gonna go back to Disney live action Moana and really work on the editing for it. When you're under the umbrella of Disney, I think they're gonna be very reactionary. And again, maybe we're wrong and maybe this movie will make $1 billion, but what happens when this movie doesn't make $1 billion? Is Disney supposed to react quickly?
I'm curious to see what its projections were for what they were fiscally supposed to be bringing in. I just don't know. Very curious to see how it's going to perform. Not necessarily the opening weekend. I feel like it's going to do very well opening weekend, no matter what anyone says. As the weeks go on, there's obviously going to be, trickle down, but it's just a matter of at what rate.
Oh man, this just makes me more nervous for How to Train Your Dragon, to be totally honest with you.
Different company though. But
Thank God.
We'll see what they do. Again, I just hope that's not the other way around, where it's like too much of a beat for beat remake, where it's again the exact same thing, which the director himself kind of implied it was. We'll have to see how it all plays out in this live action, absolutely wring your IP till it's dry kind of world we're in right now.
Seriously, yeah.
I wish this movie could be left behind or forgotten.
Oh no.